We're okay. We've got our lab set up here. We have I've got a KVM hypervisor that is using OBS for the networking layer. So let's just quickly sketch this out here. So a single host that has a single Openvswitch called VR-OBS, and attached to this I have two VMs. So this is VM5 and VM6. Okay, so attached to this I have a CX series switch. I believe it's a 6300. It doesn't need to be a CX 10000 switch. It's connected on a physical interface ENS20. This could be a bond interface as well for aggregation, if that was something you were looking for redundancy. I have an interface called VLAN 10. Has an IP address of 2.168.10.1. My two VMs are also allocated with IP addresses as well. So let's just quickly write these down here. 45 and 46. So default behavior for a switch traffic will be going through the vSwitch here. We're going to use IP local proxy ARP. To ensure that when an ARP request is made, the CX switch is responding to the ARP request. So it's actually acting as a proxy for all layer 2 traffic and not going through the OBS switch. And I also have an upstream router here as well, connected to the internet. So that's shown here. This is just my internal network here, and that is connected to the internet. Right, so the goal is to get some isolation happening between these two VMs. Let's have a look at the state of our system right now. I'm going to log into the switch. Okay, so here's our switch. Very simple config, VLAN 10, so single tag, no PVLAN, no Q&Q, just a single VLAN tag on a trunk port. Importantly here is the MAC address we'll be using. We should be seeing this MAC address for all ARP resolution. So traffic bounces through and proxies through this from the hypervisor OBS switch. Okay, let's have a look. I've also documented some commands we'll need to do, so let's look at the state of the okay, this is the default behavior for our switch, BR-OBS. Okay, so I've got my trunk interface, ENS20, and this is what I'll be attaching my VMs to. Right, let's start our two VMs up. Start VM5, VM6. So we can look at the, what's the command on list? Okay, so the two VMs have got these physical properties. So VNet 0, this is its MAC address, and VNet 1. All we really need to worry about is the name of this interface here and the name of the trunk interface, which in this case is just a single interface. It could be some sort of lag or something as well if you want it to be. So the goal here is to ensure that when a VM does an ARP request, the adjacent VM is not responding. We need to make sure that the CX10K is responding to that ARP request. So we've looked at the state of the OpenFlow table. This is the default behavior. We're seeing some traffic coming back and forward here as well. And the action as normal allows all traffic. So essentially this is an any policy with an allow set. So I'm going to, let's log in and see if things do work. I bet they do. Let's list the VMs. Okay, so we need to go into the first one, console 1. think that was the wrong password. So we can see the MAC address here corresponds to the MAC address up here as well. Our IP address is correct. So look at our ARP table. Okay, I've already seen traffic from there, so I should have pinged that. I should have pinged my other VM as well. So if we look at the ARP table, we should see that the ARP entry for the adjacent VM is not the CX switch. Okay, so it's actually traversing directly through the OBS software switch. Let's change that. Okay, so I'm going to completely delete all the flow entries. The flow entry is simply the rules. And we'll go back into the switch, into the VM, and just verify that things are now not functional. Okay, so I can't ping the gateway. I can't even get ARP entries for it, so it's got a failed status. Good, that's perfect. Now we're going to just clear all the flows again, which we, I think, already did do. We're going to now add in a rule that allows ARP from our two VMs, so VNet 0 and VNet 1. These are attached to essentially an access interface, so I'm going to tag that traffic with VLAN 10 and send it out the trunk. Now this is raw OpenFlow commands. Some other platform could be abstracting this. It could be using OVN as well, which would make sense in a larger cluster. But essentially at the end of the day, we want to make sure that the two VMs can only send ARP traffic and receive ARP traffic through the trunk interface. So if I apply this in here, we now look at the flow table. Okay, we have the ability to do ARP traffic in our two interfaces and out our trunk. So that should make it to the CX switch, and then we need to allow traffic in the trunk on VLAN 10. And because it's an access interface, we're going to strip that VLAN tag off and send it onto the two VMs. Right, so let's have a look at the VMs now. Get back on here. So I'm going to clear this. Right, okay, then we're going to ping the gateway. Now the ping fails, but our rule allows ARP to work. So we have an ARP entry, which is using a different protocol. It's not IP, it's the ARP protocol. We'll also ping our adjacent VM. Right, and now we see the MAC address is here. So we should also be able to see that. And here. So here's the two VMs available via my trunk. Cool. Now let's get some IP traffic. So now we need to also ensure that we don't need to do anything else. So if we want to do IPv6, we also need to have a similar setup for discovery. But all we need to do is now allow all other traffic, because ARP will steer which direction the traffic goes to, which MAC address or physical address we'll be talking to for traffic. Now we just need to allow all other traffic. So don't I copy that? Let's do that. And this has a priority of 0. So this is the last thing that gets actioned. And it gets put at the bottom of the table. And we've already got some packets appearing here. So ARP traffic will only be going to the upstream gateway CX switch. So nothing else can respond to that, because we are allowing this traffic, ARP traffic, to go out here, right? We probably should actually deny all other ARP traffic maybe here as well. I might try that. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, let's jump back on here. Okay, cool. Let's ping. That should have also refreshed my, okay, and okay. Okay, so traffic is now going through. I should ping my gateway device at home. Yep, I should ping something on the internet. Yes. So the only MAC addresses I see are for the CX10K. So microsegmentation is now achieved. I'm going to have a look at that ARP entry as well. Let's have a look at our. So let's see, if I put a, let's make it a priority of 1. It's a good idea. Priority 1, ARP, import. What is the command to deny traffic? Drop. Okay, let's try that. Okay, let's try and see what happens. Cool. Okay, let's have a look and see if we've got any matches there. Okay, so we do have some matches in here as well. So this will allow ARP to go from the VMs to the switch. This will drop any other ARP traffic. And this will allow all other traffic, which obviously isn't ARP. Okay, so objective achieved. Traffic is now passing through from here down to the CX switch and back again. And likewise, traffic is following the default gateway and heading out towards the internet. So it is possible to do this with OVS. We need to be aware of what the orchestration platform is actually configuring on the hypervisors. Potentially they could be using OVN as well, so we need to look at that. Thank you.